Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday celebration of love. I have on with me Jacqueline Holmes and Margaret Ann Snyder, and yes, we are now just Zooming or broadcasting to YouTube Live, and then it gets recorded on our YouTube channel. You can always come back and watch it again. And also know that I can see your comments or reactions. So if you put those in the comment section, that's fantastic. And please be sure to subscribe to the channel, because then you'll always get a notification as to when we do go live or whenever I've posted a video of another event. And so I am going to turn it over to Jacqueline Holmes to kick us off with our first song of the morning. So take it away, Jacqueline.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine the morning, born of the one light, Eden's a play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Thank you. That is so sweet. I love that song, and I love it on the ukulele. And I just want to say hi. Thanks, everybody. Hi, Mark and Nick and Lena. Thank you for being on with us. And I'm going to start to move into our ritual of candles. And these lighting of the candles, well, it's going to be a little different than last week, since we're now back online versus being at the center. And you know, the rituals are so important for us individually, but also collectively as a community, to again bring our energy together into that place of oneness, into that place of beingness. And so our first candle, or well, this will be the only candle if I can get the match to light, which I might have to get another match here, is for Hinduism. And we were talking a little bit about the power of Hinduism, what it was as a philosophy. These days I'm talking about the Golden Rule and what threads through religions and philosophies that we can come to embody. And for Hinduism, it is treat yourself as you would want to be treated. For Judaism, it is what you yourself hate, do to no being. For Christianity, it is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In the Tao, it's regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain. Regard your neighbor's loss as your own loss. And for Confucianism, is there any one maxim that ought to be acted upon one's whole life? Surely the maxim of loving kindness is such. And in Islam, do unto all beings as you wish done unto you. And in our First Nations traditions, live in harmony, for we are all related. And in the Baha'i faith, the oneness of religion, the oneness of humankind. And then in our New Thought traditions, including Science of Mind, we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe, governed by our own individual use of the law of cause and effect. And so this is the golden rule that moves through all these traditions, all these religions. And we know them. But let us also live them. Let us be them. Let us exude that at all times, especially when we have difficult times. And so also I would like to acknowledge the light for each one of us, the light that is within us, that absolute truth that we can live from at all times, that we are this infinite presence of love. And so with that, I'm going to bring in Margaret Ann to give us our opening treatment. Good morning, Margaret Ann. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Jacqueline, and everyone. I would invite us now just to take a deep body breath and exhaling as with a big sigh of relief. Beautiful. And as there is only one life living through all of us, I will say this prayer in the first person. Please take whatever resonates with you from it. Right here, right now, I remember and recognize the presence of the divine. It is the sun, it is the trees, the birds, the grass, the roof over my head. It is the chair I am sitting in. It is the softness of the material against my skin. It is the breath I breathe. It is the beat of my heart. The divine energy is everywhere, in, through, and as everything. It is in, through, and as me and everyone in my world. I am divine. This divinity is love, simply being, and its action is love. I understand and know I am the divine knowing itself. I am love, knowing itself. I am a unique, inspired, brilliant spark of light, hot from the infinite and eternal flame of love. As I know and recognize this, I can be in this world open to infinite possibilities. I let my inner guidance direct me to helpful choices. I let love flow through me. I am able to discern the truth of who I am and the truth about each person and situation as I remain in the present moment. There is power in this present moment. Aware of who I am, I release any fear and know in my heart that I am love. I am light. I step into this day, this week, remembering, experiencing, exploring the peace of this moment. I open and allow life to live through me, as me. Life lives me and it is exciting and purposeful. And I breathe and relax into it, knowing that it carries me in perfect harmony with everything around me. In gratitude for this moment, for this life, for this love that is me, for each and every person in my life. For gratitude is the joy of giving. And in this gratitude, in this joy, I release my word as law, knowing that it is done. And so it is.
And so it is. That was beautiful, Margaret Ann. Absolutely beautiful. And it takes us right into our invocation song with Jacqueline that just is such the most perfect continuation. And thank you. And so I'm going to bring Jacqueline on. And you all know this song, but Jacqueline's going to do it a little differently. So take it away, Jacqueline.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Sing along. He gave it to me. I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. He gave it to me, and I'm gonna let it shine. He gave it to me, and I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, well, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. So let it shine.
Beautiful. And oh, I love that soulful version. It's so it's just such a different style, and it's perfect because don't we all need to let our light shine so brightly these days? It's so important, and thank you for that. So, Margaret Ann, I love this. I can just like make you 3 screens. I can do 2 screens. I can do 1 screen. It is fantastic. Our theme for this month is direction. Directing our minds, directing our bodies, our souls. And we were having a conversation yesterday, and I said, gosh, Margaret Ann, no matter what's going on with you, spiritual principle is so ingrained in your body, in your DNA. You know it so thoroughly and completely. And so tell us a little bit about how this month's theme is working for you in your life.
Well, Helen, with full disclosure, the first direction I followed at the start of this home time was to my fridge and pantry for Cheetos and Haagen-Dazs. It has been manifested very well in my enhanced body rounding.
I love it.
And when we talk about direction, it's usually a linear concept.
Mm-hmm.
I say, why not use a spiral dynamic? This gives the advantage of the encompassing circle and an upward movement. I envision the spiral as going into the stillness, contemplation, or feeling what it is I'm feeling in my body and heart. And then whatever truths that come from that feeling place are taken out into my world. And so whatever is accumulated in the outer world is then brought into the stillness on the next coil up, if you will. I feel each visit to my inner sanctuary takes me to a higher vibration, And so this continues. These days, life seems to be magnified, amplified, and intensified, both for myself and those around me. I process and balance this. To process and balance this, I have given myself a more extensive inner practice, deepening my self-awareness no matter where I am on the spiral. Included in this self-awareness is taking care for self-care, taking action for self-care. This includes the usual, eating well and exercising. I also seek emotional support and spiritual support when events and happenings take up all my mind and emotional energy. I feel this keeps my spiral, my direction, on an uplifting projection. I also share a gratitude practice with a dear friend that reminds me that there's always more to life than the obvious. In this practice, we exchange first thing in the morning a text starting with the statement, "Something amazing is happening today." That just always lifts me. Then we share 3 things from the day before that are special, that inspired, or that invoked a feeling of being blessed. This practice is not always easy for me. It can take work some days to think of things, but it's so worth it. It helps me to know what I am thinking about and how I feel about it. I have found that keeping a conscious, consistent movement from the stillness within out to observation and action, and then back again to the stillness and so on, helps keep me balanced. And I have a couple of quotes from Ernest Holmes that seem to fit here. I am led, guided, and inspired by the living spirit of love and of right action. I am compelled to move in the right direction and to always know what to do, where, and how to do it. He also writes, if each day we are experiencing more life, we are going in the right direction. And so,
I love it. That's fantastic. It's true though, if we are moving forward and experiencing more life and expansion, we're good. We're good. And just so you know, Carrie loved the Haagen-Dazs quote.
she would, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful, Margaret Ann. And like I said, you always know. You are this center of spiritual principle that no matter what's going on, no matter what, no matter how chaotic it is or disruptive it is, you do know. You can always come back, and I know it's wonderful to witness in you, and it's wonderful to see you express it as well, like in your beautiful words this morning. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
And so we have an affirmation. It is up on the
Yes.
screen. If you want to
Yes.
say it once.
Okay, I'll say it once and then we can say it together. I follow the inspired direction of my own inner knowing. And saying this together. I follow the inspired direction of my own inner knowing. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. And so with that, I am going to bring Jacqueline back for our feature song, which is just the most beautiful hymn and prayer. And so thank you, Jacqueline, for suggesting this, and I'll leave it up to you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieve. How precious is that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, and now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I think a lot of us, over the last little while have opened our eyes to see so much more than what we have been seeing in the past. And to not only open our eyes, but open our hearts, open our souls, and go within, go into that inner knowing, that inner light and love. And we can all feel it and know it to the degree that we allow our minds to be open to it. And that's the key. And my question to you is, how willing are you to open your body, your mind, your soul to know, see, be, feel, and live from that place of unconditional love, that place of pure potentiality within you? What does it take? What does it take for me, for you, for all of us to have such a deep faith in knowing we are all part of this perfect unified field, this unified pattern of wholeness that is the unity of all life? And so I know for me, there are a number of people in my life that feel very separate right now, and I'm sure you know people in your own life that feel very separate from their wholeness and going through trauma, going through fear, going through a lot of angst and anxiety. Because when we are in a time of where we're in a new change, and we are, and it's so funny because I was so convinced, okay, we're now going to be broadcasting from Welcome Home, and it's all going to be amazing. And then I had to change direction. I had to change direction in my mind. I had to change direction in my heart. I had to change direction technically, and it just was like, okay, so I need to switch gears here because the energy was not coherent, and people were in their fear and their separation, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay, but we weren't getting things done to offer a quality of broadcast. So it was like, all right, we got to change direction again. So I know for me, I have an inner mission. I have an inner mission of teaching, offering the experience of entering into that field of oneness, that field of consciousness that we experience only wholeness, only this place of grace. And in order to do that, I can't allow myself to get thrown off by outside circumstances. Although sometimes I have my moments. I will say I have my moments. Because we do get caught up from time to time in those moments of angst and concern. But the challenge is, how long are you going to remain in that state of survival mode, of the fear, the angst, the worry, the pain, the separation, the sadness, because we're all going to have those moments? Or are you going to shift out of them? Are you going to move the direction of your mind, your body, your heart, your energy into coming back into that field of oneness? And how long does it take for you to move from being focused on the outer? Like for me, I was very focused on the outer, at everything's going to be this big dynamic thing at the center and it's all going to happen. And guess what? It didn't. It didn't. Not yet. It will. But not on the timing that I wanted. That's the hardest part. We all have the timing of when we want that to happen. And what we need to do is like, okay, there's another timing and there's another direction to move in before getting there. So whatever that is, can you flow with it? Can you go with it? Can you stay in that place of faith and trust that everything is in divine order, even though it feels all mixed up on the outside? So the more we practice this, the easier it becomes, because we become more adept at shifting from survival mode into a place of transcendence and expansion and knowing we're one with everything and all life. But it takes practice. I have to redirect my mind again and again and again and again. And that's okay. It doesn't matter if I have to do it 50 billion times in order to stand in that place of the mystic. I don't care how many times. What I care about is how fast am I redirecting my mind, or am I staying stuck as an angry, blaming victim? So I move faster and faster and faster. And that's the best part. It's not about, I'm supposed to be here and I'm supposed to be so enlightened and I'm supposed to be perfect. And just, it's like, that's not where I'm at. And that's not where any of us are at. And we need to be able to love ourselves fully and completely when we're not there. And then shift, change the direction. Because every time we change the direction in our mind, there's a change that happens for us in our biological functioning. We change the energy in our bodies. And this is what reveals the healing. This is what reveals more love than ever before, when we keep shifting back into the knowing that all is in divine order, and what my job is to be in the field of oneness, not trying to change matter with more matter, to change the relative world with more relative. Energy first. Everything's created, and that's why we from energy. Everything is created from energy first. And then as the energy slows down, it creates matter. But what we want to do is come back into our own energetic being. So we practice shifting from feelings of separation to feelings of wholeness and gratitude and blessing and love. So that, again, that shift becomes faster and faster and faster. And we have to continue doing it, even if we don't feel like it. And that's the tricky part, because I would like to just say, I loved Margaret Ann's image of the spiral. Well, I'd like to just spiral down and I'll stay down there for a while. No, even if I don't feel like it, because my inner direction is to know consciousness, to be it, to embody it, to exude it. and to live in that place of oneness, then even when I don't feel like doing it, I must choose to do it. And that is where we start to shift our mind from saying no to yes. Yes, I will do this. And how many of you can say to yourself, yes, I will do this, no matter what. I don't care if I'm having a hissy fit. I will do this. Because that is where we come to meet ourselves in the unified field. This unified field of love, of wholeness, of oneness, to come back into remembering who I am and to pay attention and notice those limiting, constrictive thoughts, but do it anyways. Do it anyways. And that is why also the next course I'm teaching, if you caught the beginning of, if you were on at the very beginning, I created an intro, a musical visual intro to service, which I will do every week. I'll have that playing every week. But it had just a few little things of like, welcome home, Toronto, and welcome to Sunday service. And then I had different events that are happening. And so I had my poster up of Entering the Field of Oneness. It is a course that I'm starting to teach on July 20th, Monday nights from 7 to 9. It is going to be experiential, and we are going to be using Ernest Holmes' The Seminar Lectures, which are all about really understanding the consciousness of oneness. And it doesn't matter if you can't get the book, because I can scan pages that you need to read. But it's like, let's enter that field of oneness. And here's the most interesting thing. So on my walk this morning, I went for an hour and 10-minute walk, and I'm in the trees and the beautiful gardens, and I'm thinking about the field of oneness and entering the field of oneness. Well, that's when the creative juices start to flow. So now I've got a whole workshop created with Phil Jacobs and some other people. They don't know it yet, but when we can get back to being in a workshop, it's like, oh my gosh, we can have all these beautiful, beautiful experiences of being in the field of oneness. Because it's when we start to experience it on a cellular level that it becomes part of our DNA. So, and that's the thing, these teachings need to move from just being a head knowing to a heart and body embodiment, so that we're living it and creating our lives from it. And so sign up for the course. It's going to be cool. It's going to be just this amazing experience of embodiment and creating this coherent field of oneness. So, and then the other course I started that will be starting, actually I'm doing announcements already, on September 1st is a 30-day challenge of envisioning us as the field, as our best self, for prosperity, for health, for relationships, for expanding who we are. So those are all available on the website now. But I want to go back to a quote that I actually said last week, which you probably didn't hear because the sound was so crappy. It is by Annie Kagan. A shift in perspectives makes the particles in your universe dance to new possibilities. Mm-hmm. A shift in your perspective makes the particles in your universe dance to new possibilities. So where you place your attention, where you place your energy, is what will start to expand and then come together into your reality. If you are constantly placing your attention on all the outer elements that cause you emotional stress, like people, I'm sure we can all think of a few people that cause us stress. Or do they? Or are we allowing them to cause us stress? Because no one can make us feel anything unless we consent to it. So, any place we are placing our attention on outside environments, like people, places, objects, time, then over time you become habituated into living by those hormones of stress. They become normalized. And that's a very unfortunate thing in our society, is we have become habituated and addicted to living in the stress hormones because we think it gives us a high. So we become addicted to trauma and drama in our life. We become addicted to those people we perceive as causing us stress. They're not doing anything but living their lives. We're the ones who are taking it on. But the unfortunate part is it produces this biochemical reaction in our body, and we become so addicted to the chemicals in our body, and we create more and more experiences and focus on more and more experiences to give us that high. So when we start to get quiet and we start to go within, it's uncomfortable. It's like, no, and the mind starts racing, and it's like, no, I'm going to go after my mind instead because I know what happens when I go after my mind. Let's get quiet. Let's go within to the space of nothingness, to the space and place of our ultimate potentiality, and start creating our lives from the inside out, so that we start to relate to the outer world through our inner world first. Unity in consciousness. Unity in consciousness. The all is the one, and the one is the all. So that nothing outside of us can shake up our world. That we can be so deeply rooted and grounded in the knowing of who we are. And we realize that our shadow is there just to show up and remind us to come back inside to spiritual truth. Come back inside to who we truly are. So we don't have to start changing out there. We start shifting and changing in here. So that we start to really embody the love, embody the grace, embody the peace and the prosperity and the joy. We are supposed to be living in joy, not angst. We are here to live in joy. And we can do this by going within, by really starting to tap into that internal world. And know that we are the field. It's so funny because I went to my osteopath this week, and oh my gosh, I hadn't seen him since March. And because they're not regulated in Ontario, they were not allowed to come back for the longest period of time. Now they're able to come back. So I went to see him and I said, so what did you do? And he goes, oh my God, I got into Louise Hay. He said, I love her. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, now I'm really starting to understand that everything is spiritual and energetic first. I'm like, woohoo, good for you. It's like, I love it. And he's getting into Joe Dispenza. And so I started mentioning all these other people, and I said, okay, I'm going to send you some links because you can do all this reading. I said, And I did say, Judy, you'll have a great conversation with Judy when you see her on Tuesday. Because here is this miracle worker, and he really is. Like, I consider him the spine whisperer, who now just is like getting into consciousness in such a big way. Well, imagine when he starts tapping into all of that, what an incredible healer. I mean, he'll just explode. So again, to recognize that this kind of stuff, it's hitting the masses. It is not going to be just for a few people. This kind of consciousness of understanding that we are energy first, that understanding that there is an emotional cause back of all dis-ease in our mind. That somehow, we're starting to really get that when we go into and pay attention to what's going on in our subconscious mind, that, we've taken on a whole lot more ideas and constructs that are false, that are limiting, that are creating our experience, that are, driving what we're experiencing in the world of form. And the moment we let them go, healing happens. Healing is initiated. And that, for me, is just the most exciting thing, because I want to take these teachings into experiencing the healing, experiencing it on that cellular level. That it's the next evolution of where we're going, and I find it so exciting. So let's move from thinking to being. We know it here. We know it in our minds. Let's move into being it, feeling it, exuding that energy from our heart space, and allowing this beautiful divine energy, this divine wisdom that's guiding us in each and every moment when we pay attention, that guides us towards more peace, more happiness, more joy, more prosperity, more health, that is the spirit of unconditional love. Let's exude that through our heart space and surround us with more beauty, more joy, more friendship and community and beautiful relationships, more health and vitality. Because being the spirit of substance, it's that spirit within me that is that infinite supply of all that I require, that brings to me, brings to you everything that is necessary. Everything is all within. It's all available to each and every one of us, to each and every person on this planet. And what I know is that as I direct my mind to the law of good, it keeps me in touch with that beautiful wisdom through which governs me, through which governs you, now and forevermore. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. And so, I'm just going to ask us all to put our hands on our heart space and to breathe into our hearts, recognizing that the law of good is the law that is present everywhere, that it is good and very good, and that goodness is unconditional love. And so as I breathe into that, and I allow that breath of life, the breath of spirit, the inspiration to expand my heart, to expand through my body, and to allow this beautiful energy to flow through me, as it does for each and every person in their own, each individual way. And for that, I am grateful. So very, very grateful. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is. And so thank you, everyone. What I'm going to do now is bring up our, sure I am, haha. I am going to, yes, press that button. There we go. Oh, I'm going to go back though. Back. Yeah. Ooh, one more. No, one more after that. Haha, there it is. Let us affirm this together. Divine love flows through me. It blesses and multiplies all that I have, all I give, and all that I receive. I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater flow of abundance. And so it is. And so please go to welcomehometoronto.com to donate. Thank you. Thank you. You are keeping our this going. You are keeping our space going, and we will at some point all be together again in that space. So very, very important that we keep it going, and your tithe is greatly received and blessed and given thanks for. And know that, of course, the law of circulation is always working through us and as us. So thank you once again. I'm going to go to our class schedule for June is pretty much the same for July. It's all up on the website. Some Wednesdays I'm going to switch up the meditations with some new meditations. So just join us for meditation. It is so valuable. One of the things I want to say about meditation also that we're doing is we will have some short meditations that are audio recordings up on the website, and that's going to be free. And then we're going to have an ongoing rotation of recorded classes, and far more than what you see up here. And that will be available for a monthly fee, a monthly subscription, and I think it's $29.99 for that monthly subscription, and then you can go on and do meditation classes at all times, anytime during the day, and then we'll just keep adding to the roster as we continue to build. And so, these meditation classes, they are fantastic. They are such an embodiment of our philosophy, so that it starts to move into you on a cellular level, and you start to experience your wholeness, your oneness, and create your life from that place. And then, on Tuesday, we have John Livesey with us for the Conscious Cafe. Oh, you want to be on for this one. It will be on Zoom and Facebook Live, and then posted to YouTube. John Livesey is known as the Pitch Whisperer. He has, and you can go onto our website, to the Conscious Cafe. You can watch his TED Talk. You can watch his talk about pivoting and making a decision and moving forward with it in these very interesting times. He is an unbelievable conscious man who has studied with James Mellon for a number of years, and knows this philosophy inside out, but has also created this incredible business of speaking to corporations on on how to share yourself through the power of storytelling. So great. He's so looking forward to being with us. He wants to give such valuable content to people. So please join us on Tuesday night. And then, yes, Enter the Field of Oneness is my class that starts on July 20th to August 24th. It's a Monday night, and it's 1:25. And then hit the new you button, the 30-day challenge. And this is all about resetting your life and really raising your vibe, raising your energy field through the power of visioning. And so what it's going to be is from 8 to 8:30, you can be on with me live on Zoom. And then I will also record it. So if you can't make it at 8 o'clock, you can always watch the recording and do the visioning later on during the day. So that starts September 1st, and the cost for that is $39. And then I want to say thank you to Jacqueline, and thank you, Michelle. This was made up before this morning. Michelle, oh, bless you. Bless him. He couldn't get his Skype working. So I ended up doing the meditation for him, but we will get him on in the next little while, because what a lovely voice and energy and vibe that man has for meditation. And then thank you, Margaret Ann, for your beautiful words of wisdom. Absolutely beautiful, and just so grateful for who you are and how you show up. Thank you. And thank you to all of you. And there's a lot of pivoting, a lot of change in direction going on. Thank you for going with the flow, and thank you for doing your work and being so brilliantly conscious. I really, really appreciate it. And so with that, I am going to take us out of here. There we go. And take it back over to Jacqueline, who is going to sing us out. And Jacqueline, thank you so much for your beautiful voice this morning, your beautiful choice of music. And let's all know, and just know for Jacqueline, the absolute highest and best good for her, as tonight she's submitting an audition tape for Netflix for a lead role in your voice, Jacqueline. Let's bring it on here.
Lead role in an animation new series with Netflix, and it's a really big deal, and I'm really happy to do it. And thank you for even bringing that into our celebration.
Oh, yes. So we know your highest and best good. We know that your perfect, beautiful, divine expression of your voice lands in the most brilliant way. You're so talented. You're so delightful. And I trust and know it's all in divine order. So thank you for that. And
speaking of pivoting, I was inspired by that amazing quote, which is, letting the particles of your universe dance.
Yes.
Life is a dance. The inner knowing of getting to know yourself is a dance. Having relationships is a dance. And the saying in improvisation is, the only rule is yes and. So you change directions all the time with your scene partners that come in. And isn't life like an improv, like a dance, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, I am going to sing a different song and pivot.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, and. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, let me get you up here.
In your arms, agony lies, but I prefer. You lead me to this rabbit hole. Down we go, heart and soul, rocking to the rhythm of our love. Alone with you, two flames in the dark, free to feel the melody pouring out of you, soaring into me. So sweep me up her feet, steal the words from me, twirl me tight to you where it's hard to breathe. Hold my hand into your chest, draw me closer in this dance. Keeping time, although we never do. You wanna go slow, I will follow you. Moving together, voices as one. Ready for the next step, trust I won't let go. Don't be afraid of what you know. Free to feel the melody of flowing out of you, pouring into me. So sweep me up my feet, oh, steal the words from me, twirl me tight to you where it's hard to breathe. Hold my hand into your chest, draw me closer in this dance. And don't tiptoe around the truth. Let me stay vulnerable to you. Hold my hand into your chest, draw me closer in this dance. So twirl me tight to you where it's hard to breathe. Hold my hand into your chest and draw me closer, and let love do the rest.
Oh, that was fantastic. Perfect pivot.
I know.
Perfect. Yes, and oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Margaret Ann. And many blessings to all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you next Sunday. Much, much love. Bye for now.
Bye.